hour now, we are keeping a focus on what's happening in Korea yet again today. This following confirmation from a U.S. official that North Korea is moving its mid-range missile launchers to the eastern coast of that country. The military might be ready for a test or a drill, just the latest provocative move by the North, driving up tensions. Now, Dan Senor, co-founder of the Foreign Policy Initiative, former adjunct senior fellow on the Council of Foreign Relations. Nice to see you and welcome back to America's Newsroom. Couple points here. Your big concern is not necessarily a United States target, but rather Japan or South Korea. And that would make sense, too, based on geography.
Right.
Can you back that up?
Well, it doesn't seem right now, based on what we know, that North Korea has the capability to reach, at least nuclear capability, to reach the United States, not even reach Guam, which is, 2,200 miles from North Korea. But the regional threats, Japan, South Korea, are real, and that's what we should be worried about.
But in the past, they have test-fired missiles that have gone over the country of Japan. But now you have all these American and South Korean warships that have been moved into the area. And it's quite likely now, if you fire a missile, we could take action.
Right.
Shoot it down.
And I actually think what the administration has done in recent days has been effective. It's important, actually, showing the weight and the muscle of U.S. capabilities in the region, these B-2s, these B-52s, the F-16s, strong statements out of the U.S. military leadership in the region have, I think, collectively sent a message that I hope will keep the North Korean leadership in a box here.
But still, it is hard, and I think you make this point rather well, it is hard to figure out what this North Korean leader wants to do. How do you decipher that?
That is what makes North Korea perhaps one of the most perplexing geopolitical challenges for the United States. It is the most, or one of the most, opaque societies on the planet. Our intelligence capabilities in the region, in the country, are extremely limited. So we don't know what's going on, and we don't know what the president's intentions are. Is he trying to flex political muscle for domestic purposes because he just came to power? Is he trying to gain leverage in the region vis-a-vis South Korea on the peninsula? Or is he trying to exert some sort of pressure internationally with the hope of getting these sanctions that came from the latest round of UN sanctions scaled back? We don't know what his end game is, which makes it a trickier situation in terms of how to respond.
And the way you lay that out, it's like multiple choice, and you're guessing here at the moment. If North Korea wanted to cause problems, though, it could.
Whether they use unconventional means or conventional means. They have the fifth largest, North Korea is the fifth largest army in the world, something like a 1 million man strong army, about 8 million people in reserves. Make no mistake about it. If North Korea wants to wreak havoc in the region, they can, even if they don't have the nuclear long-range capability to do it now. They can use conventional means to do it as well.
There are two reports that crossed our desk just in the past 2 hours. South Korea deploying 2 warships with missile defense systems, apparently one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast of the peninsula. There are various reports that apparently Western governments, perhaps the United States, perhaps Great Britain, the embassies that are staffed in North Korea have been asked whether or not they're willing to evacuate if necessary. How do you put these two?
I think that the tensions are high. Governments, Western governments, governments in the region, embassy staffs in the region are on an extremely high alert, and I think that the elements you're reporting, whether they've all been confirmed or not, are reflective of the chatter that's going on right now, which is, I think, appropriate. People are concerned that this thing could spiral out of control.
So they've cut off communications with South Korea. I don't know what kind of communications we have, if any. Perhaps they have a back line to Moscow. It seems that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Or Beijing. But on April 15th, 10 days from now, that's the anniversary of the birth of the country's founder, Kim Il-sung. Is this all ramping up toward that Monday?
Look, first of all, I think that there is still some communication on the civilian side, civilian aviation, between South Korea and North Korea. But it is true that a lot of these military hotline capabilities, communications have been shut down. I don't know, again, it comes back to we don't know what the intentions are. It could be some sort of build-up towards this anniversary. But again, you got to ask this question, what are his intentions? As I laid out earlier, that you can come up with about 3 or 4 scenarios that we're trying to war game out to try to understand what he wants. And it could be a subset of them. It doesn't have to be one. It could be multiple objectives here that he's trying to advance.
We are guessing, and the guessing can lead to drama. Dan Senor, thank you for your time.
Good to be with you, Bill.
All right.
I'm John Scott in for Shepard Smith tonight. North Korea may be planning another missile launch. That's what U.S. officials are telling Fox News. They say intelligence shows the North is moving around some mid-range missile launchers, and the Pentagon is keeping a close eye on them. Just yesterday, North Korea's military claimed it had approved a nuclear attack on the United States. And the Pentagon moved a missile defense system to Guam, a U.S. territory that could be in the crosshairs. The Fox Report's chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt live at the United Nations. Jonathan, what do we know about these missile movements?
Well, John, South Korean officials say, and many experts agree with their assessment, that the missile most likely being moved is called a Musudan. Now, a Musudan is a medium-range ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. It has a maximum range carrying a warhead of about 2,500 miles. That would put Guam within reach, and that is why one of the reasons why that missile defense system is being moved there by the Pentagon. Now, we do know that the North Koreans have what appear to be Musudan missiles. They've displayed what looks like them before in those military parades we've seen. And one of the concerns about the Musudan is that it can be launched from a mobile truck. That would give the U.S. and others much less time to react than if they had to mount it on a launch tower. That's one of the major concerns tonight, John.
And there is a date coming up that could be significant in all this?
Very significant date, April 15th, a week Monday. That will be the 101st anniversary of the birth of the founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung. And Kim Jong-un might decide that that is a good date on which to translate his bellicose words into some sort of offensive action. Here's the former Defense Secretary, William Cohen. Listen.
This is a young leader. We don't know whether he's in charge of the military or the military is in charge of him. And so we have to be concerned on what our actions signal to not only to the North, but to our allies, the South Koreans, the Japanese, and also the Chinese. Everyone in the region has to be concerned about what this young leader, untested, certainly unworldly, might do.
And as the world wonders exactly what Kim Jong-un might do next, Secretary of State John Kerry is due to travel to the region next week to reinforce the message personally to the neighbors of Kim Jong-un that the United States has their back. John?
Jonathan Hunt at the UN. Thanks.